السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. We continue with the tafsir of Surah Al-Hadid. I believe we are at ayah number 20. So اقرأ يا مصعب 20 and 21. بارك الله فيك.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب ولهو وزينة وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يكون حطاما وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور. سابقوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها كعرض السماء والأرض أعدت للذين آمنوا بالله ورسله ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم. Know that the life of this world is but amusement and diversion and adornment and boasting to one another and competition in increase of wealth and children, like the example of a rain whose resulting plant growth pleases the tillers. Then it dries and you see it turned yellow. Then it becomes scattered debris. And in the hereafter is severe punishment and forgiveness from Allah and approval. And what is the worldly life except the enjoyment of delusion? Race, i.e. compete toward forgiveness from your Lord and a garden whose width is like the width of the heavens and earth, prepared for those who believed in Allah and His messengers. That is the bounty of Allah which He gives to whom He wills, and Allah is the possessor of great bounty.
يخبر تعالى عن حقيقة الدنيا وما هي عليه ويبين غايتها وغاية أهلها. Allah the Exalted informs us about the reality of this worldly life and what it is upon. And He also clarifies its purpose and the purpose of its inhabitants. بأنها, that is لعب ولهو, that it is amusement and diversion. تلعب بها الأبدان وتلهو بها القلوب. So اللعب, the amusement or the playing, we say play, la'ib is playing, is for the bodies. And al-lahu, the diversion, is for the heart. So the body is the one engaging in la'ib and the heart is engaging in lahu. وهذا مصداقه ما هو موجود وواقع من أبناء الدنيا. And this is the proof for that. The proof for that is what is found and present and observed in the children of this life. The children meaning the people that are worldly. بأنك تجدهم قد قطعوا أوقات عمرهم بلهو قلوبهم وغفلتهم عن ذكر الله وعما أمامهم من الوعد والوعيد. That you will find that they have spent a big chunk, big portions of their lives in diversion, with the diversion of their hearts and their heedlessness from the remembrance of Allah, and also in the state of delusion and absent-mindedness from the promise and the threats of Allah. وَتَرَاهُمْ قَدْ اتَّخَذُوا دِينَهُمْ لَعِبًا وَلَهْوًا. And on top of that, and this is where it gets really dangerous, that they have taken their religion as well as a source of amusement and diversion. So not only do they treat the worldly life in this manner, but they've even incorporated their religious affairs into that. And the culture of memes, the meme culture, is one of the biggest manifestations of that. That the deen has been downgraded and reduced to memes. Memes that are often inaccurate, oppressive, slanderous, among other traits and qualities that are part and parcel of those memes. So be careful. Be careful of those who have turned their religion into entertainment and diversion. بخلاف أهل اليقظة وعمال الآخرة. This is in opposition and unlike the people of yaqadha. Yaqadha is the people that are up, the people that are alert. And ummal al-akhirah, the workers for the life to come. The people that are ummal, they're labor workers, but their labor work is dedicated to the akhirah, to the life to come, not to the worldly life. فإن قلوبهم معمورة بذكر الله ومعرفته ومحبته. Their hearts are, ma'mura is basically they're occupied. Their hearts are occupied with the remembrance of Allah, knowing Allah, loving Allah, knowing Him and loving Him. وقد شغلوا أوقاتهم بالأعمال التي تقربهم إلى الله من النفع القاصر والمتعدي. And they have busied their times with deeds that bring them nearer to Allah in terms of restricted and extended benefit. What is nafa' qasir and what is nafa' muta'addi? We've covered this many times in the past, and this is the pop quiz time, allowing you to vent in the comment section, because I know how much you guys love to speak while I'm giving a class. So I'll give you that little breath of opportunity. Who could tell us what is an-naf' al-qasir and what is an-naf' al-muta'addi? These are things we have covered in the past on many, many occasions. Those who are consistent in attending the classes of Al-Aqidah Al-Wasitiyah and other than this, they should easily know the answer. And I'm surprised that Pursue Excellence is saying this. I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised. I thought you would know on the spot. Wow. Wow. All right, that's good. Wow. All the wrong answers. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Wonderful. الله الله ايش قصيرة ايش قصيرة ايوه شيخ جي بي تي. طيب يا اخوان, النفع القاصر restricted benefit is an act of worship that is only beneficial to you. Only beneficial to you. So if you pray Qiyam at night, you get up at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and you stand before Allah and you say Allahu Akbar, and you pray. This is nafa' qasir or nafa' muta'addi? This is nafa' qasir. This is a benefit that is specific and restricted to you. It does not extend beyond you onto others. The general principle in Islam is عند تزاحم المصالح, when there's a traffic, a conflict, there's a congestion of benefits. When you have congestion of benefits, many options, which one do you give precedence to? النفع المتعدي, the benefit that extends onto others. The benefit that extends onto others. So if given a choice between doing an act of worship that will only benefit you and doing an act of worship that will help other Muslims, the better act of worship in Islam is the an-naf' al-muta'addi, the benefit that extends onto others, that is more rewarding and better for you. So if you're sitting in the masjid, and you're doing your wird of the Quran, you're reciting your juz of the Quran, and I don't know why y'all people asking questions in the middle of the class. Maybe you're new to the class, you cannot be asking questions during the class. So if you're sitting in the masjid doing dhikr, reciting the Quran, and someone tells you someone outside needs your help, a Muslim needs your help, it is more rewarding for you to get up from your act of worship that is nafa' qasir to you and go and engage in a nafa' muta'addi. This is why there's a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ and also attributed to Ibn Abbas that لأن أمشي مع أخي حتى يقضي حاجته أحب إلي من اعتكاف في هذا المسجد 40 يوم. I don't remember the exact wording of the hadith, something along the lines that for me, I would prefer to walk with my brother and help him fulfill a need that he has that is better and more rewarding than doing i'tikaf, than remaining in seclusion in the masjid for 40 days. I will look up the exact wording and the exact hadith later, inshallah ta'ala. Remind me during the Q&A to give you the actual reference. But this is the general principle in Islam. So, teaching the Quran, giving da'wah, helping the needy, a recurrent charity, all of these fall under an-naf' al-muta'addi, the extended benefit that is far superior to the one that is only particular to you. Capish? Next time I ask you guys, nafa' qasir, nafa' muta'addi, I don't want to hear this the first time I hear this. Tamam? طيب. وقوله وزينة, and also adornment أي تزين في اللباس والطعام والشراب والمراكب والدور والقصور والجاه وغير ذلك. الله 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 الله. Zina, adornment in general, it involves clothing, food, drink, vehicles, or anything that you mount, because back then al-marakib included camels and horses and donkeys and whatever else they would ride. It includes also boats and ships and what have you. And in modern day, it involves cars and motorcycles and bicycles and airplanes and what have you. Anything that you ride, that you do rukub on, is included. And dur is apartments, flats, qusur, castles, jah, status. All of this is adornment that the people compete in. وَتَفَاخُرٌ بَيْنَكُمْ أي, and boasting to one another أي كل واحد من أهلها يريد مفاخرة الآخر. Each one of the inhabitants or the lovers of the dunya want to compete. He wants to compete with another. وأن يكون هو الغالب في أمورها, and he wants to be the superior one in the matters of the dunya. He wants to be the one on top. I want to be the number one. والذي له الشهرة في أحوالها, and he wants to be the one who is famous in the matters of the dunya. He wants to be the one who is popular in the matters of the dunya. And I will take this few minutes off. Allow me, guys. I know you are focused on the tafsir, but this is relevant because it's happening. This is a message that I would like to extend to reverts to Islam who were popular and famous before Islam. And now that they became Muslim, they presume that they could now continue to be social media influencers within Islam. And everybody who is sincere in advising these people, we should all unanimously tell them, look man, if you want to, first of all, I advise you to leave off this social media influencing altogether. I would advise this person, no matter how famous and popular he is, get off the social media platform and restrict yourself to acquiring knowledge. More often than not, these people have already made buckloads of money from being silly people, but still, people made them a big deal and they gave them a platform and they paid them money and they made money from YouTube and other platforms, and somehow they became rich on the expense of gullible people. Whatever. قدر الله ما شاء فعل. So they have money, they could afford to get off social media and go learn Islam. That's ideal. you may say that's far-fetched. The guy still needs an income. He still needs to continue his influence or what have you. No problem. Phase 2, level 2 is zip it about Islam. You want to tell the people that you're a revert, Jazakallah khair. You want to say, I accepted Islam, I embrace Islam, I believe Islam is the true religion of God. Barakallah feek, thank you so much. That's all that you got to say. Don't go beyond that when you don't know anything beyond that. When you're not qualified to speak beyond that. And now you need to regulate your social media platforms to be in line with Islam. You cannot continue to be a social media influencer promoting haram and music and free mixing with women and your old stuff, but now you're a Muslim, but you're still doing the same old stuff you were doing before Islam. That's deceptive and wicked, and that's you exposing your sin, and you're doing sins publicly. Has anyone advised these people truly? Or they're too shy, or because it's Sneeko, or because he's Andrew Tate, or because of I don't know what their names are? You're shy, you don't fear Allah enough to tell him in his face, look bro, I'm a sincere advisor to you. You need to chill out, man. You can't be doing the old stuff that you're doing before. No, it's not okay. I don't care how famous you are. I don't care if people freak out and cry when they see you and run to you so you can sign their t-shirt. You're just another human being, man. You're a man like me. And as far as I'm concerned, I won't even look at you twice, man. I got enough self-dignity not to belittle myself before another man, no matter who this man may be, unless you are the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu salam, in which case I will become a doormat. I will become a rug for him to step on so that his foot doesn't touch the floor. Any other man? Amshi ya Sheikh, who are you aslan? Who are you? Who gave you attention? Who made you anything aslan? Relax, bro. You're a sperm drop. Chill. Just because people are foolish doesn't mean everybody's foolish, and it doesn't mean you are what the people make you think you are. I show speed go somewhere and hundreds and thousands of people, there's stampedes and ish hada, why? It's a dude, man. It's another dude acting obnoxiously on camera. Any one of us could do this. I am 10 times more obnoxious than him, but is that an appropriate behavior? We could just run around and jump and act stupid all day? Anybody can do that and become famous. Ma'alesh yani, it's not a special skill. We ask Allah to guide him to Islam, but those influences, those people, I don't know how they become so famous and people are so fascinated with them. Ya boy, ish fi? You as a Muslim aslan, where's your self-dignity, ya akhi? So somebody has to tell these people, man, you need to chill out. Don't talk about Islam no more. Tell the people you're Muslim and don't discuss Islam, and make your live streams halal, purely halal. Fear Allah, because if you are saying you're a Muslim and you're continuing to promote haram, then you are actually doing a disservice to Islam and you're calling people away from Islam. Or the people that get exposed to you will think, oh, Islam allows this. So when they hear another caller to Islam say, oh, music is haram, they're going to say, oh, really? But Sneeko did this and Sneeko did that. You're destroying the efforts of the du'at and the callers to Islam. And you're not even nowhere near being a caller to Islam. One day you're putting a video of a Shia, and the next day you have no idea what you're talking about, brother. Level 1, go learn, get off social media. Level 2, don't promote haram and don't talk about Islam. Worse than that, not only they want to talk about Islam, no, they are also political analysts. These Western reverts, the freedom of speech is in their DNA. They always think they are allowed to dictate and impose on they tell the whole world how to conduct themselves. I know this from my own family. My own uncle, he's been in America for I don't know how many years. In his mind, he gets to tell all of us regular Lebanese people what is right, what is wrong, how we should conduct ourselves, what politics is, what we should understand, what's happening in the world. We don't understand anything in the world. Only he understands what's happening in the world. America gets to do this, America gets to do that. Dude, like this is and I lived there for 10 years. I know the mentality of the people. So because you're American, you can come tell the Gulf country, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, if you really want, you get out. Why is it يا أخي إيش بك أنت you could barely manage a live stream. You're arguing with another social media influencer on whether you're a homosexual or not. In the middle of Ramadan. Wasting people's time with these stupid conversations about he wants this, or he's jealous of me, or he's trying to take over, and he has more clicks or more ratio. I ratioed him when I made the video. There were 4,300 watching. When he made a video, it was only 2,300. He's losing his influence. ايش الكلام الفاضي هذا والهبل وقلة العقل. You want to tell countries what to do, what not to do? Yeah, boy, hello. How do these people roam freely أصلا? They need to be put in their place. They need to be told, if you have access to these people, the callers to Islam who host these guys every other day and they go live while they're shoving food down their throat and eating and drinking and acting like fools in the name of Islam, they need to really advise those people. Either uphold Islam or sit on the side, bro. You have shortcomings, we all have shortcomings. You make a mistake, man up and say, I made a mistake. You publicly sin, repent from it. I'm not saying there's not going to be any loopholes or there's not going to be any shortcomings. Not loopholes, shortcomings. We all have our shortcomings. But it's not an ongoing trend and it's a standard lifestyle that everybody accepts. No, they need to be told what's up. شهرة وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد, and also increase in wealth and children. أي كل يريد أن يكون هو الكاثر لغيره في المال والولد. Everyone wants to be the superior to his opponent in both wealth and children. وهذا مصداقه وقوعه من محب الدنيا والمطمئنين إليها. And also the materialization and the proof of that is seen in the people that are obsessed with the dunya and are comfortable with the dunya. You see them competing with wealth and children. Have more kids, more educated kids, more qualified kids, more cars, more homes. بخلاف من عرف الدنيا وحقيقتها. Unlike the one who knows this worldly life and its reality. فجعلها معبرا ولم يجعلها مستقرا. So he made it a pathway and he did not make it a place of residency. فنافس فيما يقربه إلى الله. So he only competed in that which gets him closer to Allah. واتخذ الوسائل التي توصله إلى دار كرامته. And he followed the means and the tools that Allah Azza wa Jal has made available that will allow him to make it to the abode of honor that Allah has prepared for the believers. وإذا رأى من يكاثره وينافسه في الأموال والأولاد نافسه بالأعمال الصالحة. And when he sees someone trying to compete with him in wealth and children, he competes with him with righteous deeds. He competes with him in righteous deeds. ثم ضرب للدنيا مثلا بغيث نزل على الأرض. Then Allah struck the similitude of this worldly life such as rain which Allah sent down upon the earth. فاختلط به نبات الأرض مما يأكل الناس والأنعام. And so it mixed with the earth. Where is it? So it mixed with the vegetation of the earth from what is eaten by humans and cattle. حتى إذا أخذت الأرض زخرفها until when the earth has become adorned and beautified. وأعجب نباته الكفار, and the vegetation has become pleasant to the farmers. Kuffar here doesn't mean disbelievers, it means the farmers. الذين قصروا نظرهم وهممهم على الدنيا, those whose vision and intent and objectives have been restricted only to the worldly life. جاءها من أمر الله ما أتلفها. A command of Allah came to it which destroyed it. فهاجت ويبست وعادت إلى حالتها الأولى. So it basically it became it riped, and then it became dry, and then it withered away, and it went back to its original state. كأنه لم ينبت فيها خضراء, as if no greenery or vegetation ever grew. ولا رؤي لها مرأى أنيق, nor was it ever seen in an elegant way. كذلك الدنيا, such is the worldly life. بينما هي زاهية لصاحبها زاهرة, while it is beautified and adorned for its companion and full of flowers. مهما أراد من مطالبها حصل, whatever he wants of it he acquires. ومهما توجه لأمر من أمورها وجد أبوابه مفتحة, and whatever a matter of the matters of the dunya he wants, he finds the doors open. إذا أصابها القدر فأذهبها من يده. إذ أصابها القدر. All of a sudden the pre-decrement or the decrement or the preordainment of Allah, it hits it, it reaches it, and then Allah removes it from his hand. وأزال تسلطه عليها, and Allah removes his authority over it. أو ذهب به عنها, or Allah removes him from the dunya remains and he goes away. فرحل منها صفر اليدين, so he abandoned and departed from this worldly life with صفر, zero in his two hands. لم يتزود منها سوى الكفن. Subhanallah, the only provision he took with him is the shroud. The only provision is the shroud. فتبا لمن أضحت هي غاية أمنيته ولها عمله وسعيه. So wretched is the one to whom it became his objective and his wish, and his deed and his effort were all for the dunya. وأما العمل للآخرة, as for working for the life to come, فهو الذي ينفع ويدخر لصاحبه ويصحب العبد على الأبد. As for the one who works for the akhirah, this is the one that benefits and is saved for its companion, and it will accompany him forever. ولهذا قال تعالى, that's why Allah the Exalted said, وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان. And in the hereafter, severe punishment and forgiveness from Allah and approval. أي حال الآخرة ما يخلو من هذين الأمرين. The affair of the life to come can never be any outside of these two options. إما العذاب الشديد في نار جهنم وأغلالها وسلاسلها وأهوالها لمن كانت الدنيا هي غايته ومنتهى مطلبه. Either severe punishment in the fire of hell and its chains and its horror for the one whom this worldly life was his objective and the epitome of his desires. فَتَجَرَّأَ عَلَى مَعَاصِ اللَّهِ. So he had the audacity, he was audacious in sinning against Allah. وَكَذَّبَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ. And he belied the ayat of Allah. وَكَفَرَ بِأَنْعُمِ اللَّهِ. And he disbelieved or he was ungrateful to Allah's blessings. That's option number one. Option number two, وَإِمَّا مَغْفِرَةٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِلسَّيِّئَاتِ وَإِزَالَةُ الْعُقُوبَاتِ. Or forgiveness from Allah regarding the sins. We ask Allah to make us among those, and the removal of the punishments. وَرِضْوَانٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ يُحِلُّ مَنْ أَحَلَّهُ عَلَيْهِ. And a pleasure or approval from Allah that He bestows upon whomever He bestows upon. دَارُ الرِّضْوَانِ لِمَنْ عَرِفَ الدُّنْيَا وَسَعَى لِلْآخِرَةِ سَعْيَهَا. And the abode of pleasure for the one who knew the reality of this dunya and he was striving for the life to come with the proper striving. فهذا كله مما يدعو إلى الزهد في الدنيا والرغبة في الآخرة. All this is an invitation so that you could be ascetic towards this worldly life and have high desire for the life to come. Allah is guiding us and showing us the reality of the dunya so that you could invest in your akhirah and you could be nonchalant about the dunya. Again, this does not mean that you strive for poverty or that you don't develop yourself or you don't seek sustenance or you don't acquire properties or cars or education. No. All of this is fine provided that it is not in your heart, it is in your hand. It's always in your hand and it never reaches your heart. If it reaches your heart, you are better off without it. But if you're able to utilize those things in your hands while your heart is attached to Allah and the akhirah, then hani and lak, then congratulations to you. Bon appétit, monsieur. Bon appétit, bon appétit, bon appétit. The problem is, a lot of people, they begin with the dunya being not important and then it overtakes them and it becomes their obsession to the point that they are too busy for Allah, too busy for ibadah, too busy for salah, too busy for learning Islam and teaching Islam. They're too busy. Khalas, the worldly life has occupied them and has overtaken them. We seek refuge with Allah from that affair and that condition. ولهذا قال, that's what Allah the Exalted said, وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. And what is this worldly life except the enjoyment of delusion? أي لا متاع أي إلا متاع يتمتع به وينتفع به ويستدفع به الحاجات. Meaning except it's a type of provision which is enjoyed or benefited from or used to repel certain things. لا يغتر به ويطمئن إليه إلا لا يغتر به ويطمئن إليه إلا أهل العقول الضعيفة. None is deluded by these matters, nor is comfortable or is at the state of relaxation except the people of weak intellect. الذين يغرهم بالله الغرور. Those who have been deluded by the deluder. And al-gharur is also known, is also attributed, as far as I remember, in the other ayah to the shaitan. So ghurur and gharur are not the same, right? So in this ayah, it is mata'ul ghurur. And gharur is the one that deludes you into ghurur, which is delusion. Al-muhim, you are not influenced or affected by such delusion. ثم أمر بالمسابقة إلى مغفرة الله ورضوانه وجنته. Then Allah Azza wa Jal commanded the racing. Musabaqa is to race and hasten to the forgiveness of Allah, His pleasure, His gardens. وذلك يكون بالسعي بأسباب المغفرة من التوبة النصوح والاستغفار النافع. And this is acquired, this happens by striving in achieving the means of forgiveness. What are the means to acquire forgiveness? التوبة النصوح. What is نصوح? What is نصوح? Let me test y'all. What is النصوح يا عباد الله? بسم الله. أيوة يا محمود. أحسنت يا محمود ويا قواس exert wax and blue guy. توبة النصوح is sincere. And how do we know this? What hadith? Who could think of a hadith that has the same meaning? It's not exactly nasuh in the hadith, but it's similar. Famous hadith which is related to the yes أحسنت يا user BC9 مدري إيش. الدين النصيحة. Religion is sincere advice. That's why we don't just say it's advice. It's sincere advice. So نصوح is sincere. طيب. والاستغفار النافع and beneficial seeking of forgiveness. والبعد عن الذنوب ومظانها. Allahu Akbar. May Allah forgive us. And staying away and avoiding sins and مظانها, meaning the things which may lead to sin. So you're not only avoiding sin, you're also avoiding the area, the context in which sins become prevalent or become accessible. So you stay away from where sins occur. والمسابقة إلى رضوان الله بالعمل الصالح. يا الكفكة. We agreed that the Q&A is at the end of the dars. If you have a question related to what I said now, ask it at the end of the class. When I ask you a question, you are allowed to answer. Why? Don't turn every time I ask you a question. You have to punish me by asking me a question in return. Hold your horses and wait until the end of the class, barakallah feek, and you'll have plenty of time to ask. You say, Akhi, regarding what you said in the class, I have a follow-up question. And then you could write what you wrote right now, instead of throwing us off once again. And musabaqa, and also to compete in the approval of Allah, or the pleasure of Allah, via righteous deeds. والحرص على ما يرضي الله على الدوام من الإحسان في عبادة الخالق. And being keen on acquiring what is pleasing to Allah constantly, while being in the state of excellence in the worship of the Creator. والإحسان إلى الخلق بجميع وجوه النفع, and being excellent to the creation in all aspects of benefit, whatever could be beneficial. ولهذا ذكر الله الأعمال الموجبة لذلك. That's why Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned the deeds which necessitate that. فقال, so Allah said, وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ where is it? عرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للذين آمنوا بالله ورسله. But here it says وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا كَعَرْضِ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ. So the Shaykh quoting another ayah from the other surah, I believe it's Surah Al-Nisa. I don't recall. على كل حال. وسارعوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للمتقين. المهم آل عمران الذين لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. المهم, and a garden, the width of which is like the heavens and the earth, it has been prepared for those who believe in Allah and His messengers. والإيمان بالله ورسله يدخل فيه أصول الدين وفروعها. Now, belief in Allah and His messengers, included in that is the fundamental principles of the religion and also what branches from that. ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَن يَشَاءُ. Now, this is the bounty of Allah which He gives to whom He wills. أي هذا الذي بيناه لكم وذكرنا لكم فيه الطرق الموصلة إلى الجنة والطرق الموصلة إلى النار. Meaning that which we have highlighted for you, that which we have broken down for you and mentioned to you of the paths that lead to Jannah, to heaven, versus the paths which lead to the fire. وأن ثواب الله بالأجر الجزيل والثواب الجميل من أعظم منته على عباده وفضله. And the fact that the reward of Allah, with this immense reward and beautiful compensation, is from among the greatest bounties upon the slaves. والله ذو الفضل العظيم الذي لا يحصى ثناء عليه بل هو كما أثنى على نفسه وفوق ما يثني عليه أحد من خلقه. And Allah is the possessor of great bounty that no one can even enumerate the praise that is due to Allah. A praise that no one can articulate, no one can accumulate, no one can acquire. Rather, it's Allah's praise. Allah deserves praise greater. It's only equal to what Allah has praised Himself with, and above what any one of His creation is able to praise Him with. بل هو كما أثنى على نفسه. Rather, it is how Allah praised Himself. وفوق ما يثني عليه أحد من خلقه. And it's above and beyond what any one of the creation is able to thank Allah Azza wa Jal enough for. Subhanallah. طيب, اقرأ يا مصعب.
ما أصاب من مصيبة في الأرض ولا في أنفسكم إلا في كتاب من قبل أن نبرأها إن ذلك على الله يسير لكي لا تأسوا على ما فاتكم ولا تفرحوا بما آتاكم والله لا يحب كل مختال فخور الذين يبخلون ويأمرون الناس بالبخل ومن يتول فإن الله هو الغني الحميد. No disaster strikes upon the earth or among yourselves except that it is in a register before we bring it into being. Indeed, that for Allah is easy. In order that you not despair over what has eluded you and not exult in pride over what He has given you. And Allah does not like everyone self-deluded and boastful. Those who are stingy and enjoin upon people's stinginess, and whoever turns away, then indeed Allah is the free of need, the praiseworthy.
يقول تعالى مخبرا عن عموم قضائه وقدره ما أصاب من مصيبة في الأرض ولا في أنفسكم. Allah the Exalted tells us about the general condition of his preordainment and his decree, that no disaster strikes upon the earth or among yourselves. وهذا شامل لعموم المصائب التي تصيب الخلق من خير وشر. This includes all of the calamities which afflict the creation, be it good or bad. فكلها قد كتبت في اللوح المحفوظ صغيرها وكبيرها. All of them have been written in the preserved tablet, the small and the big. وهذا أمر عظيم لا تحيط به العقول. This is a great matter that the minds cannot wrap their head around. بل تذهل عنه أفئدة أولي الألباب ولكنه على الله يسير. Even the minds of the most intellectual people cannot grasp how everything that has ever happened, everything that will ever happen is written in the preserved tablet. Every صغير and kabir, every small matter, big matter, it's already been written and decreed. Like you can't really understand the gravity and the greatness of that. But for Allah this is easy. وأخبر الله عباده بذلك لأجل أن تتقرر هذه القاعدة عندهم. And Allah informed the slaves that so that this principle can be established among them. ويبنوا عليها ما أصابهم من الخير والشر. And so they may build upon it whatever afflicts them of good or evil. فلا يأسوا ويحزنوا على ما فاتهم. So they are not despaired. They do not despair and become sad over what eluded them. مما طمحت له أنفسهم وتشوفوا إليه. From that which they were really truly desired and they were aspiring for. لعلمهم أن ذلك مكتوب في اللوح المحفوظ. Why? Because it's been written in the preserved tablet. خلاص, it didn't happen. You wanted it. You wanted this car so bad. You wanted this house so bad. You wanted this job so bad. You wanted this potential wife so bad. Whatever it is that you wanted so bad. It didn't happen. If you are a true believer, you're not going to flip and you're not going to trip. And you're not going to skip. You're just going to be like, all right, alhamdulillah, if it was written for me, it would have happened. It didn't happen, it means it wasn't written for me. Be happy with the qada of Allah. لا بد من نفوذه ووقوعه. Whatever Allah has written in the preserved tablet, it has to come to pass and occur. فلا سبيل إلى دفعه. There's no way to repel it. And also, you're not sad and you're not despairing from what missed you. Similarly, ولا يفرح بما آتاهم الله فرح بطر وأشر. And you do not rejoice, you do not exalt in pride, you do not become happy in what Allah has given you, the type of happiness that is based on exalting with a you and pride. Not the acceptable happiness of the bounty of Allah. Not that you're happy with the bounty of Allah. No, you're boastful and looking down upon people and acting like you deserve this or you acquired this because you're so special. لعلمهم أنهم ما أدركوه بحولهم وقوتهم. See, because they know that they didn't acquire this because of their ability or their way or their strength. وإنما أدركوه بفضل الله ومنه. They only acquired it because of the bounty of Allah and his blessings. فيشتغلوا بالشكر من أولى النعم ودفع النقم. So they're too busy thanking the provider of these provisions and the remover of these calamities. ولهذا قال, that's what Allah said, والله لا يحب كل مختال فخور. And Allah does not like everyone self-deluded and boastful. أي متكبر فظ غليظ معجب بنفسه. Meaning he's arrogant, he's rude, he's hard, he's difficult, self-admiring. فخور بنعم الله. He's boastful about the bounties of Allah. ينسبها إلى نفسه. He attributes them to himself. وتضغيه وتليه. And it makes him transgress and it distracts him. كما قال تعالى, as Allah said, وإذا أذقناه رحمة منا قال إنما أوتيته على علم بل هي فتنة. And when we give him mercy to taste, he says it is because I have been given this because of a knowledge that I have. Rather it is a fitna. Allah tells us that it's a trial and a tribulation. The last ayah, relax guys. الذين يبخلون ويأمرون الناس بالبخل أي يجمعون بين الأمرين الذميمين اللذين كل منهما كاف في الشر. Oh, they acquire two traits, two blameworthy traits. Each one of them is sufficient as an evil trait. البخل, stinginess or miserliness. وهو منع الحقوق الواجبة. It is to prevent rightful obligations. And also وَيَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِذَلِكَ, and they command the people to be miserly like them. فَلَمْ يَكْفِهِمْ بُخْلُهُم, they weren't even sufficed with their own miserliness and stinginess. حَتَّى أَمَرُوا النَّاسَ بِذَلِكَ, they also commanded the people to be like them. وَحَثُّوهُمْ عَلَيْهِ, and they encouraged them to be like that. هذا الخلق الذميم بقولهم وفعلهم, and they encouraged with this evil trait, and they encouraged the people with their statement and their actions. وهذا من إعراضهم عن طاعة ربهم وتوليهم عنها, and this is a type of them turning away from the obedience of their Lord and placing it behind their back. وَمَن يَتَوَلَّى, and whoever turns away from the obedience of Allah, فَلَا يَضُرُّ إِلَّا نَفْسَهُ, he's not harming anyone but himself. وَلَا يَضُرَّ اللَّهَ شَيْئًا, he will not harm Allah in any way, shape or form. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْغَنِيُّ الْحَمِيدُ, it is indeed Allah, the one who is free of need and the praiseworthy. الَّذِي غِنَاهُ مِنْ لَوَازِمِ ذَاتِهِ, Allah's self-sufficiency is one of the necessities of His essence. One of the necessities of His essence is self-sufficiency. الَّذِي لَهُ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, the one to whom belongs the dominion and the authority and the ownership and the kingdom of the heavens and the earth. وهو الذي أغنى عباده وأقناهم, it is He who has enriched His slaves and sufficed them. الحميد الذي له كل اسم حسن ووصف كامل, the praiseworthy one who has every beautiful name and every perfect attribute. وفعل جميل, and every beautiful action. يستحق أن يحمد عليه ويثنى ويعظم, he deserves to be praised for it and to be exalted and to be magnified. And with this, inshallah, we conclude the dars. We only have ayat 25, 26 and 27. Oh, more. Good. So bi'idhnillah. Inshallah, tomorrow, inshallah, we will complete Surah Al-Hadid bi'idhnillahi jalla jalaluhu wa taqaddasat asma'uhu. Wal-an nurahibu bikum ahibbati fillah wa as'ilatukum al-jamila. Auntie Jamila. طيب. If there are narrations of some of the Sahaba saying, beware of eating much meat, and we are eating higher protein to meet a goal for macros, for muscle gain or weight loss, is this disliked? It's a good question. I don't know. Wa alaikum salam, Ustazi. May Allah super glue a beanie to cover your bald head. I am not even going to bother reading the rest of your comment, and this white seal should be banned. Allah yahdik. You rude, disrespectful human being. Shameless people, wallah. Shameless people. Wallahi, shameless people. You have no shame, akhi. May Allah guide you. May Allah guide you. Go learn some adab, and when you've learned some adab, when you've learned some manners, come back to the channel. Until then, we're having none of that. I could be your father's age, and you clearly know that I have hair, and you clearly know that I shave my hair. So I don't understand what's your obsession with my head. Why don't you mind your business and stick to the class and to the knowledge that we're disseminating, and get off my looks and my appearance and my shaved head or my grown hair. And sometimes we entertain it just for a little bit because, we're whatever. But enough is enough. Yeah, well, whatever. طيب. وإليكم أحسن الله. How is ikhlas different from the word used here with tawbah, nasuha? How is kuffar referring to farmers here? Can we benefit from Ayman Suwaid for tajweed? I don't know who Ayman Suwaid is. And the يغيظ به الكفار, if you refer to the end of the surah wherein Allah mentions يغيظ بهم الكفار, you could clearly see in the tafasir that kuffar is the farmers. So we know that aslan, the reason why the kafir is called the kafir, because he is like the farmer who conceals the seed, who covers the seed, and the kafir covers the truth. So that's where the correlation comes between the word kafir and kuffar and zurra and also farmers. As for how is ikhlas different from the word used here, which is tawbah, it's not. There's nasuh is sincere advice. Nasuh is sincere. From nasuh, I think they use it with asal, is when you extract it or you cleanse it from the wax and other things that basically affect its purity. Now, طيب, sorry Ustad, I could have worded my question better. No problem. How do we pray in the last third of the night if we have to pray Taraweeh all in one go and not stop after 4 rak'at and continue later in the night? Wait. I need to decipher these questions, man. The last third of the night, we have to pray Taraweeh all in one go and not stop after 4 rak'at and continue later in the night. I don't understand. You could pray 11 rak'at all in one shot, by the way. Some of the scholars say you could pray 11 rak'at in one go. But I don't understand how you pray in Taraweeh and you're... I'm sorry. You could have worded it better, or you could have worded it better. If someone else understood, explain to me in other words, because I still don't understand. I don't understand what context is there why you praying Taraweeh all in one go. Why you praying Taraweeh all in one go? Why you cannot stop after 4 rak'at? I don't understand. Alright. Wa alaikum salam. What to do during Eid if after the Eid Salah the family will be free mixing the whole day? Of course I'm not joining them, but I'm not sure on how to spend my day. You spend your day with the remembrance of Allah. What did the Prophet ﷺ say about Ayyamul Eid? They are ayyamu aklin wa shurbin wa dhikrullah. They are days of eating and drinking and the remembrance of Allah. So while they are busy free mixing, you are busy saying Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. You're continuing to read the Quran, you're revising a surah that you're trying to memorize, you're listening to One Way to Paradise. That's how. Now, wa alaikum salam rahmatullah. Wa ilaykum ahsanallah. Does Laylatul Qadr happen only on odd nights or can it also come on even nights? Laylatul Qadr could be in any one of the last 10 nights. Why? Because the Sahaba had two ways of counting. They had two ways of counting the odd nights. You can count them forward and you can count them backwards. I mean, you can count them towards the last 10 nights or what's left of the last 10 nights. And according to this way, it could actually be in any one of the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Because in some of the hadith says, لِسَبْعَةٌ بَاقِيَةٌ لِخَمْسَةٌ بَاقِيَةٌ لِثَلَاثَةٌ بَاقِيَةٌ for 7 remaining, or 5 remaining, or 3 remaining. So remaining is not like 3 that have gone by. You understand? So if you go back to the works of Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, I think we posted this back in the day on our channel. That means any one of the 10 nights could be the Laylatul Qadr. The odds are higher on the odd nights of that, and the odds are even higher for the 27th night, based on authentic ahadith from the Sahaba. Do I still get good deeds for every step to the masjid if I deliberately choose to walk to a distant one? Yes. Yes, you still get the good deeds if you deliberately walk to a distant one, as long as it's not a hardship for you, as long as there's no hardship associated with that for you. Ameen ya Rab. Under what conditions is obedience to parents wajib? Under all conditions. Unless they're telling you to disobey Allah. The only exception is that they tell you to disobey Allah. لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. There's no obedience to a creation if it entails disobeying the Creator. If they stop me from doing a very highly recommended sunnah for a silly reason, is it still wajib to obey them? It's a recommended sunnah. They're telling you not to do it. Why though? Why? You need to investigate why. But fundamentally, yes. Fundamentally, you obey them. And rest assured that Allah will give you the reward of that sunnah which you left, and Allah will give you the reward of obeying your parents. So it's a win-win situation for you. Now, well, I'm too shy to read all these ad'iyah for me in front of the people, man. Allah musta'an. Yes, We're not playing much. I mean, even when I play basketball, when I come back, I clean the ball with a wet napkin and make it new again and put it on that couch. So yeah, that's where the ball belongs. Jazakallah khair for the dua. Wa alaikum salam, my beloved brother. Hayakallah akhi. Is it allowed to have toys in the home for kids that have faces and toys like animals for learning purposes? Some of the scholars allow it. The safer option is to remove those facial features if you can. Remove the facial features if you can. But if they need to be there for whatever learning purpose, the scholars basically allow it. The scholars allow it if there's a benefit behind it. Especially because what they say is مما عمت به البلوى وفيه مشقة على الناس. It's something that has become prevalent, and there's a lot of hardship upon the people to be able to remove all the pictures from all the science books and all the books and all the toys and all. There's so much involved. It's almost impossible. So you're excused because of inability. But if you're able to, it's always better to avoid. Barakallah feek. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How to respond to people who criticize Salafis with the hadith which mentions the easiness of Islam? Example, music's haram. In reality, what is meant by this? Well, what is meant, who defines ad-din yusr? The one who told you that the religion is sincere advice is the same one who conveyed to you the speech of Allah, who told them, وَمَا أَتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. Whatever the messenger gives you, take it. Whatever he forbids you, stay away from it. So you cannot use the text to conflict with other texts when you have plenty of other texts that tell you that you need to obey the Prophet ﷺ, and you cannot take those matters lightly. The Prophet ﷺ said that if whatever hangs below your ankles from your lower garment will be in the fire. He saw a man wearing a gold ring. He said, does any one of you purposely place a ring of fire around his finger? And he yanked it out of his hand and he threw it on the ground. That's also the Prophet ﷺ. So, لا تضربوا الأدلة بعضها ببعض. Don't strike the evidences against one another. Selective fatwa shopping for what constitutes ease of Islam. I think I have a lecture from like 20 years ago titled Strictly Following the Sunnah versus the Religion is Easy. Believe it or not, I don't know if you could find it. Wallah, if you find it, it'll be amazing. I actually have a lecture titled Strictly Following the Sunnah versus the Religion is Easy, where I broke it down way back in the day. Subhanallah. If you find this lecture, One Way to Paradise team, Barakallah fikum, see if you can find this lecture and post it for the people. Now, so based on the naf' qasir and naf' muta'addi, is it better for me to help in organizing the congregational prayer qiyam tarawih at the mosque than praying with the imam? Nah, I don't know. That's tough, because what help do you need to organize? What kind of involvement do you need? No, wait a second. I know what you're talking about, and I don't know what you're talking about. There is preparation leading up to the salah. What are you doing during the salah? What are you organizing during the salah? So while people are praying, you're fixing the tray of dates, so every date looks cute and accessible. What are you, pouring coffee with no one there while people are praying? No, Habibi. Why? You could be praying with them as well. Whatever preparation and help you want to provide, that is done not during the salah. That is done before the salah. And you could continue after the salah. That does not require of you to abandon the salah. Crowd management. Why? Where? If you're working outside in the parking lot, I don't know. That is not what I was referring to, guys. I was not referring to this type of naf' muta'addi. This is just a job and occupation. I'm talking about the type of benefit that extends to the other Muslims beyond this type of work. Whether this applies or not, I cannot give you a fatwa, Allahu a'lam. But I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it. So Allahu a'lam, na'am. Ustad, I advised one of those famous reverts, a sister, to remove videos of her without hijab, and she cursed me and my descendants. It shows her journey to Islam. Am I right that she should remove it? Of course. If it shows her journey to Islam and what she looked like before Islam, then we're back to square one. Yes, there are benefits in these videos in the sense that the people, they're touched by the story, they're affected by the story. No problem. That goes in the column of benefits. And every time and every single matter that you ever discuss, we always, ya akhwan, in everything in this life, dunya and deen, religion and worldly life, there's a scale. Never ever can you look at any matter without a scale. Put the scale and then you have one side of the scale and the other side of the scale. So that we don't take away from people's preferences or people's valid points. Yes, you have a valid point. I'm going to place it on this side of the scale as a valid point. Now let's see what's on the other side of the scale in terms of harm. If this harm is outweighing the benefit, even though there's a benefit, we're going to say you can no longer do it because of the harm. يسألونك عن الخمر والميسر قل فيهما نفع للناس. They ask you regarding alcohol and gambling, say in them is benefit for the people. وَإِثْمُهُمَا أَكْبَرُ مِنْ نَفْعِهِمَا. But then Allah said, and their sin is greater than their benefit. Their sin is greater than their benefit. Therefore, in spite of the acknowledged benefit in alcohol and gambling, Allah said that the sin is greater, though they're no longer halal. So the benefit is it's going to touch the story of someone. The harm is she's showing what she looked like. She's not wearing hijab. She's highlighting her sins, and especially women, man. A woman is done. Why do you shave your head? Ya akhi, why do you care why I shave my head? Do I come to your house and tell you why do you have a... إيش دخلك أنت يا أخي? I don't understand it, people. Are you people serious, man? Is this like a sickness that some people have? Why is this even a discussion? Am I here to teach you about my appearance, or am I here to teach you about the deen? I don't remember ever telling a person I studied from, why do you do this and why do you do that? Why do you wear this? Well, none of my business why he does what he does, ya akhi. No, they need to be taught. These people need to be educated. Maybe they're just ignorant. Ya akhi, aib, this is none of your business, ya akhi. If I'm not doing anything haram, if I'm doing something haram, Jazakallah khair, correct me. If I'm not doing anything haram, don't be nosy. It is against Islam. It is against the teachings of Islam to be nosy like this and to involve yourself in matters that don't concern you. It doesn't concern you, akhi, mind your business. Well, I don't care about your curiosity. Alright, I'm not here to entertain your curiosity. You have a good question about Islam, ask me. Man kana lahu sha'r. Yani this hadith is, no, post this. This is hujja alayk. Whoever has hair, let him honor it. If you grow in your hair, if you've decided to grow your hair, then honor it. Don't look disheveled and crazy. When the Prophet ﷺ saw a kid who they had done qaza' for him, they shaved part of his head and they kept part, he said, either remove all of it or keep all of it. So who is the one who said either remove all of it or keep all of it? Allah's Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. And when you do Hajj and Umrah, your Hajj and Umrah will not be valid until you cut your hair or you shave your head. Khalas, end of story. You don't like it, don't do it. Keep your hair. For me, it's my business. Ish hada. Last time we will discuss this hair, by the way, guys. I'm done with this hair nonsense. Ili ba'du. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Why is there so much emphasis on the 27th night of Ramadan? Because there are authentic hadith. Hadith of Hudayfa, if I remember correctly. The hadith of Hudayfa radiallahu anhu. and Ibn Mas'ud and others, they made an oath by Allah that it's the 27th night. There are many ahadith to the effect that the Laylatul Qadr is the 27th night. Now, the scholars understood this in many ways. Some of them said, yes, during that year, they were referring to that year, it was on the 27th night. And others say, no, this is in general, it's the 27th night. So it remains to be an open discussion. Now, Ubay ibn Ka'b, صح. قل فيهما إثم كبير ومنافع للناس وإثمهما أكبر منافع ما. شكرا يا يوزر corrected جزاك الله خير. يسألونك عن الخمر. let me correct the آية. يسألونك عن الخمر والميسر قل فيهما إثم كبير ومنافع الناس. Say in them is great sin and benefit for the people وإثمهما أكبر من نفعهما, and their sin is greater than the benefit. شكرا يا user BC9 MS 5UV 3K. إيش الاسم هذا? Can you please select a name that is easy to read يا أخي? If your name is Abdullah, just put Abdullah يا Abdullah. Ustad, how to advise someone who's doing well in these blessed nights in terms of worship, but got now severe waswas in regard this act of worship. What do we advise of? We advise him to stop having waswas. Now, next. Is it permissible to say to one's parents, Inshallah, you'll be pleased on the day of judgment? If you mean it as a dua, yes, but you're not supposed to say inshallah when you make dua. If you're speaking of the future and the unseen, that's tough. How do you know? $123 people, mashallah. The intention to repay missed fast, two out of two. Where's 1 out of 2? The intention to repay missed fast from a year prior along with the 6 fasts of Shawwal. First payoff, from the previous year. If yes, is it better to combine or separate them? All is allowed. Imam doesn't say Ameen, you say Ameen on your own. But the 6 days of Shawwal, are to be done after you complete the missing days of Ramadan. After you complete the missing days of Ramadan. Ban user. Wallop TVO has been banned. روحة بلا رجعة يا حبي. I apologize for interrupting the class. No problem. It was ill-mannered disrespect. No problem. I forgive you, Habibi. Jazakallah khair. May Allah forgive us all. My question is about the man who sinned repeatedly and repented each time. We never said anything that opposed that, ya akhi. Yes, we know that. What do you want? We're not against that. A person can continue to sin and will continue to repent, and Allah will forgive him every single time. It doesn't mean he did not have true remorse when he repented. This is actually the case with all of us. All of us feel remorse when we do a sin, and then all of us repent, and then a lot of us go back to do the sin afterwards because our feelings change. It doesn't mean that at the time of repentance we did not feel remorse. There's no conflict between the two, akhi. There's no conflict between the two. No problem. What is the ruling on trimming the beard if it reaches a certain length? Some of the scholars allow it, some of the scholars do not allow it. Some of the scholars allow trimming the beard, some of them do not allow trimming the beard. There are a lot of opinions. Yes, hadith of Abu Hurairah and Ibn Umar is that they used to trim whatever was beyond the fist. Whatever was beyond the fist, they would trim it. Authentic ahadith attributed to Abu Hurairah and Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma. Is it okay for one to gift her 80-year-old mom nice clothes if her mom doesn't wear proper hijab and non-mahram might see her wearing those? Also, what evidence do scholars give Eid Salah to be fard kifaya? Well, if she's gonna wear 80-year-old man, wow, mashallah, tabarakallah, it's old. But even if she's 80, she's still rocking some funky clothes, then yeah, you cannot buy her these clothes knowing that she's gonna wear them outside. And you'll be surprised, but we live in a very sick world where people have, granny fetishes. So we still got a problem. And Allah allowed the women who are elderly to put off some of their hijab. They have less, they're more lenient, but not to the point where she's, dressed immodestly. What evidence do the scholars give that Eid Salah is Fard Kifaya? That's for the scholars who say that it's Fard Kifaya. Many other scholars say it's Fard Ayn. Everybody has to attend Salat al-Eid, which is the opinion that I follow. I follow the opinion that is Fard Ayn. Every person, male or female, must attend Salat al-Eid. How to cut Salah properly if there's a reason? By giving salam and moving. Granny fetishes and not fishes. Fetish. You don't know what it is? Good for you. How to avoid backsliding after Ramadan when we fear this for us? By holding on to the rope of Allah and being firm and persevering. Alright guys, it's 2:43. It's almost Fajr. How deal with the wave of sururis everywhere? By learning, by listening to the ulama of the Salaf, by listening to proper Salafi scholars. Listen closely to Sheikh Al-Suhaimi, Sheikh Al-Ruhaili, Sheikh Salim Al-Tawil. Listen to those mashayikh so you could your compass can remain in the right direction. And so you could know who the sururis are and you could identify them and you could avoid them effectively. Because sururis are super dangerous. Abdul Aziz Al-Rayis also, naam, Jazakallah khair. Can you expand on explaining bukhul? To what extent? Being miserly. Being miserly is, as Allah said, وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. Those who prevent the basic needs. You are stingy and miserly when you're able to help people and you can afford to help them, yet you choose not to help them. And you tell others not to help them either. In areas where it's against the Sharia. In areas which is against the Sharia. طيب, we need to wrap it up. I guess not. My mom saw your refutation of Dr. Salah and wanted to know if you had any evidence to prove he's an Ikhwani. Ikhwanis are known by their association. Who do you associate with? Who do you platform on your channel, on your platforms? Who do you collaborate with? Who do you promote? And the circle of Dr. Salah is a bunch of Ikhwani, deviant callers to Islam. And he is on the same page as they are. So, and Ikhwanis are known for appearing on channels that are Ikhwani channels, and they're known for speaking ill of Muslim rulers and for promoting the Khawarij ideology directly and indirectly. And all of these people more or less are guilty of doing all of that. He's a nice brother. I've met him in person before. At some point, before I knew what he was about, I did some. We were both in Dubai and we both had some event together. Then you move fast forward, you realize that these people are on a different manhaj, and you have to stick to the Sunnah and abandon these people. I was there with Asim al-Hakim. I was there with Dr. Salah. I was there with Abdurrahim Green. I was there with a lot of these characters on Peace TV. I was on Peace TV with all these people. Biggest mistake of my life. Didn't know that I was going to be with all these people. But still, it was a poor judgment on my part. And lesson learned, even though in these shows I upheld the Sunnah and I didn't sugarcoat and I didn't compromise and I was I was really a pain to all of them because I gave them all a hard time and I challenged them and challenged their views. But still, looking back at it now, it was a mistake I did. It was poor decision making. And if given a chance again, and I do get the chances again to be invited to go with these people, I refuse. If I get invited to attend any of these events where Asim al-Hakim or Dr. Salah or Mufti Menk or Abu Taymiyyah or any of these people will be there, well, I will not go. I will not go. Inshallah, they will offer me whatever they offer me. No, because that would be deceiving the Muslims, confusing the Muslims, promoting people of bid'ah. The good they do is between them and Allah. I cannot take away from what people have done. Whatever good they do, it's between them and Allah. Does that mean because they do good or because they've affected people positively, that means that we can now say that you could freely, comfortably listen to them and think that you will be given orthodox Islam, Salafi Islam? No way. La wallahi, I will be lying to you. Wallah, I'll be lying to you. So what we want is that you listen to someone who's going to give you pure Salafi Islam. Yes, the term Salafi, yes, Salafi. I want Islam to be according to the way of the Salaf. If people oppose the way of the Salaf, wallahi, they are lost. فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا أَمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا. If they believe the same way you have believed, then they are guided. That's the statement of Allah Azza wa Jalla in the Quran. And He was speaking to the Sahaba. The only way you will be truly guided is if you are believing exactly like the Sahaba believed. The moment you depart from the way of the Sahaba, the moment you depart from it, wallahi, you are misguided and you are misguiding others. And there's no compromise, no playing around with this. It's done. Especially nowadays, especially in this day and time, when confusion is widespread and everybody has something to say and everybody became a caller to Islam. Every day we have a new character who's a Muslim apologist. People that we don't even know where they came from, who they learned with, when they learned, what did they learn, who are their mashayikh, what are their ta'sil, what is the ta'sil that they have, we don't know anything. Just they become callers to Islam and then they start off with nothing. Then in 1 month they have 100,000 and 200,000 and 1 million and 1.5 million. We're like, whoa, what happened? Who are these people? And lo and behold, fast forward a few months and in 1 year, next thing you know, they're calling people to disbelief in Allah, to shirk, calling to Shi'ism. Look at this Daniel Haqiqa true character. Look at if you want to know what liars look like and how deceptive people are, imagine this person claimed and alleged that he's an Athari. He claimed to be an Athari. He's a Sunni like us. Have you ever seen in your life a caller to Islam who's an Athari Salafi telling you that calling on other than Allah is not necessarily shirk, and creation controlling the universe is not necessarily shirk, and we need to unite with the Shia in spite of their crimes against the Sunnis, and constantly criticizing the rulers of the Muslim countries and calling for revolutions and advising people to work for the Homeland Security in America, advising Muslims to work with the American government on video. Makes you wonder how he's free in Texas. Makes you wonder how he is free in Texas while he is the most outspoken person against the US government and against the Zionists. How does he go unchecked? We were deceived by him. So you reach a point where, you know what? I'm not calling this mistake again. I'm not making this mistake again. Athari is Salafi, ya akhi. When he says he's Athari, it means he's Salafi. Now he's come up with, Wahhabi this and Wahhabi that and Madkhali this and Madkhali that. At the end of the day, all these terms are supposed to be synonymous. Oh, hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil. حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل. يلا بكفي كده. جزاكم الله خيرا. We have a class tomorrow inshallah. We have a class tomorrow inshallah. So
What if it's Eid?
oh, what if it's Eid tomorrow? Then we don't have a class. Yeah, so this is subject to moon sighting. Subject to moon sighting. Obviously, if it's Eid, then it's Eid. And we don't know. How could we know right now? It's midnight. We will have to wait till tomorrow Maghrib to find out whether it is Eid or we have one more day of Ramadan. So, yeah. Jazakum Allah khair. We'll catch you whenever we catch you, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ma'moon. Confirmed. You know the unseen in the future, ya Ma'moon. You don't even know what socks you're wearing. إيش هذا؟